Hello, my friends. Today is February the 19th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a reading for the year to follow. It's a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year. Maybe this is a sustained energy through the year. Maybe this is something that really comes into break it up and chop it open and get it out of its routine. Then there's a challenge, a particular challenge you might face this year, and then there's a particular action you can take to stay in balance this year when you feel out of balance. And then there's a mile marker or synopsis card at the end. We'll talk about that. This is the general energy card for the year, and it is the vessel. What does the vessel ask us to reflect upon? Well, the vessel is a container, and we make many containers to hold many things in our lives. Even this body is a vessel. It's a vessel for the sacred Holy Spirit that is inside of you. It's the vessel to hold that and to be formed by it and to be shaped by it, but it's a vessel to hold that sacred spirit. Now the vessels are vessels outside of you. Maybe this is a year about, if you raise a glass in toast, what are you really toasting to? What is really important to you? What is sacred to you? The other side of that is what are you putting into your cup? What are you putting into your vessel to drink? What are you taking in as uh, sustenance to your own vessel? What are the words you're taking in to your vessel that you're allowing to have power and to have definition inside of you? And are those words and thoughts negative words, or are they positive words? Are they building you up, or are they tearing you down? Are they moving you in a direction that you like, or are they moving you in a direction that you don't like? And you have power as the vessel, that has a consciousness, to make choices, to direct your vessel in whatever way is needed for the greatest, I think, spiritual fulfillment of yourself and the greatest physical fulfillment of yourself. I think they go hand in hand, quite honestly. So the vessel this year is saying, what is sacred to you? What are you putting into your vessel? What are you drinking and taking into yourself? What are you celebrating outside of yourself as connection, as spirit, as joy, as something that needs saluted to? And what are you taking in? What are you taking into yourself? What are you taking in on physical levels? What are you taking in on emotional levels? What are you taking in on fire levels, somebody else's anger, or your own anger? What are you taking in on heart levels? Pain and victimization, or love and sharing? What are you taking in on mind levels, positive words or negative words that reflect back to you, and what you're holding as your belief and telling you whether you're sick or not, or worthy or not, or lovable or not, or connected or not? What are you taking in as your sense of your spiritual connection, and what are you taking in as your sense of both truth that is guided by both analysis and intuition? Whew, that's a lot. So it's about looking at your vessel and what you're taking in and what you're honoring outside of yourself. So this is your particular question, Six of Wands. Six of Wands is often about, I think, a sense of communion with others in some kind of celebration, in some kind of heartfelt celebration that's linked to inspiration, that's linked to your breath, that's linked to your joy, that's linked to your sacred awareness, that's linked to, I think, the fire in you that wants to find a truth that's deeper than just the everyday mundane fire that says, "Oh, go ahead, get ahead, move ahead, just stay alive at any with any possibility, and take whatever is yours, and hoard, and so the Six of Wands is much more akin to wanting to see humanity, wanting to see fulfillment, wanting to see sacred mysteries, wanting to touch sacred truth, wanting to be in communion with others who share like minds. So, what is your challenge? Well, I think it's particularly in some kind of communion that you're doing with, maybe it's another group, maybe it's a family, maybe it's in yourself. But usually I think this is something about an outside group that no longer feels like it's allowing you to follow your sacred truth, that it's really holding some kind of sacred honor, that it's really touching some kind of sacred place inside of yourself. And there's a challenge for you to feel like you want to celebrate, maybe even that you want to even participate in what once was, a very strong part of your belief systems and your makeup. There's a question inside of you. There's a question, a deep question inside of you. And I think the action that you need to take is about hummingbird. And one of the most prominent things I've heard about hummingbird is this beautiful phrase is, you can't cage a hummingbird. If you cage a hummingbird and it stops singing, then it dies. So this is about freedom and authenticity and courage and power and boundaries. Hummingbird is a fierce fighter, sets amazing boundaries. Hummingbird is a fierce uh, navigator. It goes for thousands of miles in flight. It lives on sacred sugar, the thing that feeds it, the nectar of the gods that gives it its power and its strength and its ability to hover and fly back and forth, backwards and forwards. Its ability to be very powerful in its pursuit of what is sacred to it. But if you cage a hummingbird, if you try to hold a hummingbird, that hummingbird needs to be active. It needs to be alive. It needs to be gifted and honored in the way that it is special. And so this is about you. And are you caging your hummingbird? Is this group that or energies that are stopping you, that feel like you're not connected to anymore, are they somehow caging your energy and the good parts of yourself that you want, the sacred parts of yourself that you want, the fire that is a sacred fire inside of you that you want to go after? Are you being caged by someone else's belief system, by someone else's choices about who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be, and what you're supposed to do, and when you're supposed to do it? And, a sense of taking your power away. You have to regain your power, retake your power, retake your sacred power. You may not sometimes be able to retake your physical power in situations, but you can always retake your sacred understanding, your spiritual understandings. And if things change inside of you, you have to honor them and let them change to something that feels more true and right and honorable inside of you. And then work toward changing the dynamics outside of you. It's always slower on the physical body to get the lessons that the mind shifts to, that the heart shifts to. It takes more time for the physical body to go in that path and follow in that path. So this is, this is the test of mirrors. It's always the test of mirrors. The outside reflecting inward to inside of us. How we see the world is often, if we see it in victimizations, then we have more incidences of where we're victimized. And if we see it in places where we're afraid to share our power and share our truth, then that's what we're going to find, the inability for ourselves to share our power and to share our truth, because we've decided that it's going to have negative circumstances to share our power and share our truth. But we are authentic creators. We are authentic creations of creator, and we all have power, and we all have dynamism, and we all can follow our truth and be our authentic selves. Each circumstances demands a different kind of energy brought to it. But if we want to share, if we want to have our sacred truth and put it in our vessel and hold ourselves as sacred beings, then we have that power to shift ourselves into that awareness and to go after the right situations and the right groups and the right understandings and the right teachings that take us in that direction. And so I think you're being redirected this year. Blessed be. May you have the power and the courage and the fortitude and the boundaries and the choice to sing your truth and not be caged. Aho Matakwiasan, blessed be.